Hi, Martina. Welcome, welcome. Yes, yes. Hi, everyone. Hi, Sharods. And hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Oh, wait, I might not have accepted it properly. There we go. Hi, hi, Omari. How are you? Don't worry about
Uh,
your, don't worry
Okay,
about your ceiling.
I am well, Celeste. It's so great to have another opportunity to hang out with the Moon Maven. Yes.
Yes, yes, Omari has given me this handle. I love it. Yes, I am the Moon Maven. Love it, love it. So I would like you to introduce yourself, you and your expertise and your business and all that.
Okay, great. So, good afternoon, good morning, good evening to everyone, wherever you are in the world. I am Omari Martin, and I am the board chair of Kepler College of Astrological Arts and Sciences. I'm also on the board of the American Federation of Astrologers. I am president of the Friends of Astrology based in Chicago, Illinois. I'm currently a PhD candidate, and just had chapter one approved and looking forward to finishing this project. And I also work with clients via Solar Wisdom, and I work with other entrepreneurs via Astropreneurship. And it's great to join Celeste today and hang out with her and spend some time with her today.
Yes, and what are you getting your PhD in?
PhD, business management, specializing in accounting. And it's only appropriate for me to share with you the topic of my dissertation, which is the influence of working capital management on profitability of manufacturing firms in the United States.
I love that. Yes, with my corporate background, I love how much you focus on, and I've been to several talks you've given about astrology in business as
Yes,
well as electional astrology, which I also really like about timing things for
yes,
the best outcome.
yes.
Yeah, and you're such a great speaker, and yeah, and tell everyone your big three.
My big three, Leo rising, Libra sun, and Virgo moon.
And your Virgo like shines through with you being on the board. I don't know how you have time for doing all the things you do. It's just incredible. And
It,
so for anyone who's joined, oh, go ahead.
yeah, so I have a Virgo stellium. So my default setting is service, and we do live our chart either consciously or subconsciously. We really do. And I'm a college professor, and I teach accounting and finance classes as well.
Hmm. Yeah, it's amazing. So today we wanted to talk about Pluto and Aquarius. For anyone who's new to me, I'm Celeste of Astrology by Celeste. Now there's a caret at the top that you can drop and follow Omari and me if you're new to me as well, so that you'll be in the know with things that we're doing and the conversations we're having about astrology. But next week, Pluto is going into the sign of Aquarius for the first time in over 200 years. This is a big transit. It's the biggest transit of the year. So I wanted to talk to you about what we may see coming up. So what are your thoughts? Why don't we start before we get into that? What are your thoughts about Pluto? And then we'll get into what are you, like things Aquarius, and then we'll talk about what may be coming up. So could you tell people what is the planet Pluto? What does it govern? What does it rule? What does it mean?
Okay, great. Okay, great. Excellent. And it's perfect because that's exactly where I wanted to start today, especially for those who are new to astrology and are simply captivated by it. We like to start with keywords. And so some of the keywords or themes associated with Pluto, particularly within the context of mundane astrology, would be group activity, mobs, organizations, viruses, wink, wink, COVID-19, things hidden, things that we do not see, things that we are just not aware of in our day-to-day mundane activities. What else is associated with Pluto? Taxes and taxation. Global wars. Do we not have a war going on right now? As well as crime. Crime is just running rampant in major cities. It's not restricted to just Chicago, Illinois, or New York, or Philadelphia, or Atlanta, or Houston, or LA. It's in all of those cities and in other cities that I did not name. In addition to that, earthquakes. We know in what I think what a 3 to 4 week period, Turkey, there were 2 earthquakes. And I think there was a third earthquake, but I can't remember off the top of my head where it occurred. And also, violent storms are associated with Pluto. And we can also add to the list for Pluto sexual revolution, polygamy, or this we're not in a relationship, but we're friends with benefits. Wink, wink.
Or like threesome, like triangulation, where there are 3 or more people involved.
You know, the old school term I think was ménage à trois, which is French, and I don't know French, but that was like a 3-way, and now polygamy, it could be more than just 3 people. And so Pluto, it rules our deepest subconscious, and as well as private interests. And Pluto is power and control. Pluto is the planet of transformation. And we want to keep in mind that before there is transformation, there may be a breakdown followed by a breakthrough. And then there is the transformation. So there is a step or a phase that will precede the transformation. And then when we talk about Aquarius, well, we know the planetary.
I have a couple of things I want to say about Pluto too. Yeah, so also a key word I think about is intensity, like really deep intensity and obsession.
Love to love you, baby. I can't eat without you. I can't live without you. I can't breathe without you.
Yes, yes. And that death, rebirth. Yeah. So, yeah. And like Pluto, I feel like it breaks down things to the studs in order to be rebuilt. Like it's a full scale remodel of things. And it's non-negotiable. It's like you kind of have to do it. Now, some Pluto transits are like Pluto can empower people, but it could also be like the dark night of the soul what people go through. I know in my progressed moon was conjunct my natal Pluto, I was going through a really difficult time in life. Yeah, it's volcanic, so volcanoes as well as earthquakes, any kind of catastrophe, I feel like is plutonic. And I don't know what astrologer said this, but it has the effect of a tsunami, but it takes the time of a glacier. Because a lot of like, especially what we see, you know, Pluto through Capricorn with the breaking down of big business and governments and all of that from 2008 till now. It's you know, life is so different than it was back then. Yeah.
Yeah. It is. Yes, it is. And thank you for adding intensity, because Pluto is certainly that. I'd also like to give an example that some may be familiar with. Some of you may be familiar with a controlled burn. And it happens inside of the farming business or agricultural business, where they may actually identify a section of the land and intentionally set it on fire. And we have to add that fire is the element of transformation.
Oh, yes, controlled burn. I like that.
And then they'll set it on fire and they will actually watch it burn and see it burn. And of course, at some point, the fire burns out. And then you have this freshly scorched, burnt earth. And then what becomes of that? New earth, new grass, new foliage, new greenery that sprouts up through it. And it's a way of goodness, I guess replenishing the earth or something, but it's called a controlled burn, and it's Pluto. That is an example of Pluto. And the first time I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, why are they burning the grass like that? That's not right. And then I didn't know. A brother didn't know. And then said I asked somebody who explained to me it was a controlled burn for that specific purpose. And then I understood it and got it and immediately associated with a Pluto event, microscopic in scale, but certainly a Pluto activity.
Yes, and in California, we've had a lot of these massive forest fires, and there's been a lot of talk about how Native American cultures used to use controlled burns in order to prevent mass, like this mass catastrophe kind of thing. So that's a great example.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pluto's also cleansing and healing. It can be. Some people with strong Plutos can like get sick and then like with the force and the power of the mind and whatnot, heal themselves. Yeah.
Transformation. So everyone, if you experience dis-ease, notice I didn't say disease, I said dis-ease specifically. That was intentional. When you experience that, yes, you want to be healed. And as the Moon Maven just stated, Pluto can be involved with our healing process. And again, and there's a phase that happens in front of that. It doesn't always feel good. You won't always be looking good. And you may not like it. But just embrace it as a growth opportunity, a spiritual growth opportunity, because that's exactly what it is.
Yes, that is. Yeah. Yeah, it's also shadows and things we'd rather disown and taboo things. Yeah. So,
and those little secrets you don't want anyone to know about, but you will tell, like you have to tell one or two best friends of all time. You got to tell somebody for mental health reasons. So outside of yourself and those one or two people is something everybody takes to the grave.
Yeah. Oh, BZ Cosmic Wheel said reclamation. I love that word.
Like that. Thank you for that contribution. Thank you.
Yeah. Very good. So yeah, I think that's good. Oh, and very primal and a higher octave of Mars, I would say.
Yes, we certainly want to look at it as a higher octave of Mars. And of course, most of you know that Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio. And when I talk about Scorpio, I do make a reference to the three phases of Scorpio, as in Scorpio, the snake, Scorpio, the scorpion, and then Scorpio, the phoenix, which is the legendary bird consumed by the flames of the sun, and then rose again from its own ashes. And it's that third variation of Scorpio, that's that transformation that occurs.
Yeah, yeah. And it stays in a sign around 11 to 30 years and 248 years to orbit the sun. So no one has a Pluto return, but we have Pluto transits throughout life, and not everyone has the same one. So people's experience of Pluto is very different, I feel like, versus some other things.
While it is a generational planet, no one experiences a Pluto return, but definitely pay attention to the major aspects that transiting Pluto will make, in particular to your natal sun, your natal moon, as well as your ascendant and the midheaven as well.
Yeah, Pluto's going to sextile by midheaven soon. Yeah, any thoughts on that?
Doing what you do now, you will achieve a new phase of development that will be transformative, and you'll literally say, wow, this is how I started off, and this is what I used to do career-wise, and that will usher in a new phase of your career. And I'm going to just add for good measure, as a professional astrologer.
Yes. Yeah, I'm excited about it, but like, ooh, what is that going to be? Yes. Okay. Now let's go on to Aquarius. What are your thoughts on the sign of Aquarius?
Okay, great. So once again, everyone, we're just going to lay out some key words or themes associated with Aquarius. So, of course, freedom, reformer, scientific, universality, pioneer, humanitarian, inventive, new ideas, self-sufficient, progressive. Let me see what else. Fadism, as in following a fad, like a diet fad, the ones that showed up in the early 2000s. Impetuous, rebelliousness, and bohemian. So those are some of the key words associated with Aquarius. Did you want to add anything, Moon Maven?
Yeah, I think Aquarius is a sign of extremes in some ways. Like it can be the revolutionary who wants
Yes.
to topple the old way, or it could be the humanitarian who wants to take care of the people and the collective. Yeah, and it also is an air sign, and air
Yes.
connects. It's a humane sign, so very involved in how people relate to each other. It's also called the water bearer,
Yes.
but the water is the water of knowledge rather than the water of water. And it rules at things that fly. So I'm thinking like birds,
Airplane, airplane, helicopters. It also rules, well, Aquarius, well, more so Uranus is the ruler, but we certainly associate those things with Aquarius. Definitely, I think so. And, you talked about something you said cued in, well, I think it's appropriate to mention how we are in a transition phase from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius. And I do believe that Pluto entering the sign of Aquarius is a milestone that will usher in that age. And some of you may remember that song by the Fifth Dimension, depending on how old you are or how young you are. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. I would sing it for you, but I don't sing, so I'm going to spare you, everyone. I'm going to spare you. Omari cannot sing. I didn't get that gift this time around,
you have
but that's
so
okay.
many gifts. It would not be fair if you could sing as well. Okay, Professor?
Okay, thank you. I don't want to be greedy. I'm not greedy. But nevertheless, yeah, I do think this Pluto moving into Aquarius is like another signpost, if you will, that is ushering in the age of Aquarius. And a few moments ago, Celeste shared with us how it can take Pluto 11 years to 30 years to transit one sign. Well, Pluto will transit Aquarius for 20 years. So from 2024, January 20th of 2024, all the way to January 18th of 2044. So that's a period of 20 years that we will experience Pluto in Aquarius.
And now we're going to be like dipping our toe in, dipping it back out for the next year and a half. Yeah. And so, yeah, very interesting. So also with Aquarius themes, drones, I think drones are going to be a big thing that comes up. Yeah.
Artificial intelligence. Hey, I'm going to tell everybody right now, check out that chat GPT. If I'm saying it right, it's mean. It's mean. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm a college professor. I could be replaced by this.
Yes, I swear, within the last week, I have received 2 communications that make me think I'm going back and forth with a chatbot GPT. Yes. Yeah. I was signing up for this classes for something, exercise, and I swear I was talking like they were going back and forth with me with that chatbot GPT. Just there was something just a little off about what was being said. And so for people who don't know what this is, you can say it's a Microsoft product, but other companies are doing it. You can say, like, write me an essay about the French Revolution, and it will come up with an essay for you. You could be like, it can be 2,500 words or whatever. It's uncanny how much it sounds like a human, and maybe even better at times. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So I even typed in something related to astrology, a question. It answered the question, and the answer was not bad. Yes, Camroa, yeah, like AI, yes, artificial intelligence. That's exactly what we are referring to. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And so groups, clubs, and friends. So, like, I was thinking about Congress is a very Aquarian, and whatever the representatives around the world, these bodies
Yeah.
that are
Yeah.
governing bodies.
Okay. Well, I want to share this, Celeste. So, of course, we talked about this a few weeks ago, and you invited me and all that other good stuff. And as I was thinking about this, Pluto in Aquarius, something that came to mind is, where was Pluto 180 degrees ago? In Leo. So Pluto is power. Leo is the king of the jungle, the monarch. Or it could be an elite group of people who perhaps function as a monarchy. And there are some baby boomers who were born with Pluto in Leo. And it seems that they do want to hold on to power. Just a few moments ago, Celeste made a reference to Congress. And respectfully, I will say, after you have served for 20 years, you should leave. And after you reach a certain age, maybe 70, if not 65, you should leave. And I wonder, how can any person in Congress who is, I'll say, 80 years old today, how can they really relate to the individual who just turned 18 years old yesterday? And lo and behold, if it is an 80-year-old white man or white woman, how do they relate to the person of color who speaks 2 languages or 3 languages and may be from another country, or parents may be from another country? I respectfully question that. And at a certain age, you should bow out.
Yeah.
But,
Yes,
that's
and Nikki Haley has actually brought this up. She was suggesting that, mental competence tests, like, we could be in a situation where, again, Donald Trump and Joe Biden are fighting for the presidency, which seems ridiculous. These two men they're too old to be representing us now, okay? I mean, I hate to be too ageist, but at a time we need, like, the influence of younger people who have more of their, fingers on the pulse of things. Yes, yeah, and we have, like, 3 senators have been in hospitals recently. So Mitch McConnell, Dianne Feinstein, those are their folks.
90, and I think she's 90. I mean,
is 90
will be
years
90.
old and falls asleep and stuff, and finally has said she's not running for re-election. But in the meantime, anyway, that's a whole other story about, yeah. And so the masses, we talked about technology, the skin, the ankles, the circulatory system are also ruled by Aquarius. So things that may be coming up around that, or changes around that. And, like, the totalitarianism or authoritarianism is also is Aquarian, and as well as revolutions fighting against it. Yeah. So what are some of your things you think that we may be seeing coming up when we combine Pluto and Aquarius? This transformation of the collective technology.
The people want to be in control, not just a select individual or select view. And when I say the people, not a small group of people, the collective, humanity. People want to be in charge and have more say-so in the decisions that matter to them. I think it's possible that while Pluto makes its way through Aquarius, when it comes to electing the president of the United States, we may actually move away from that, indirect vote through the Electoral College, and electing the president may become of the United States may become a direct vote within the next 20 years. Where we do
Ah,
away
yeah, there's
with
been a lot of talk about getting rid of the Electoral College.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
where we do away with the electoral college or abolish it or reformat it in some way, but certainly get closer to where the people get closer to directly voting for the United States of America. That is something that I would say is likely to happen in the next 20 years. And over the next 20 years, even if some baby boomers are still alive, they won't have enough votes or power to stop it.
Mm, yeah. And what do you think about like succession? Like the state of Texas, I read this week they're putting on a ballot or starting to, someone's proposed a bill about seceding from the United States. I don't think it will happen, but
No, I don't see that happening. I really don't. I don't see that happening. And let's see. Okay, so my phone is charging up. Uh-oh, it's too hot. It needs to cool down. Uh-oh,
oh,
uh-oh, uh-oh. So
oh dear.
we'll talk. We'll talk until it goes blank. How about that? And if we
Okay,
have to do
I'm
it,
sorry.
and if we have to do a part two, we could do a part two.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, but let's see. Yeah, so I think we'll get closer to a direct vote of the president of the United States. I can see that happening, I think, across the map and at the state level and even at the federal level. The younger generations will vote in favor of term limits to end the existence of a career politician. And while I say 20, some people would probably say maybe 2 terms equaling 8 years or 3 terms equaling 12 years. I'm willing to give it 20 per se, but definitely after 20 years, just to preserve your own dignity, leave, groom the next person, because at some point you are past your prime. And, come on.
Yeah.
Again, that's just me, but I know that sentiment. I don't hold that sentiment by myself, and there are others who think
Oh,
that way too.
yeah, there's big talk about that in term limits. And in terms of technology, next week, the CEO of TikTok on the 23rd, the day Pluto goes into Aquarius, is going to be testifying before Congress because we're talking about banning it. Congress is talking about banning the app for fears of surveillance by the Chinese on, the American populace. And surveillance is a very plutonic term. Like you don't
Because
see it
things are
going
hidden.
on,
Mm-hmm,
but
mm-hmm. It's the things hidden. So it's Plutonian. Yes, it is.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be interesting to see if TikTok actually does get banned, as well as what changes are going to be made around different technologies that, are like just taking over people's lives where they sit on their phone all day long,
Yeah, and
doom scrolling.
a lot of people do Alexa. Let me take that case off. Maybe this will help. So a lot of people do Alexa,
Mhm.
and their house or their home is all plugged into Alexa. I personally have resisted that, where my home is digital. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a smart home where the whole home or house is wired into some type of artificial intelligence or digital system, but I just have reservations about it. Maybe I've looked at one too many movies like I, Robot, where the robot takes over and gets you.
Well, that's like with that chat GPT, this New York Times writer was conversing with it and asked it, what is your shadow side? Pluto, shadows. And it started talking about like crashing computers and telling the guy that, he was the computer was in love with him, and he should leave his wife and all kinds of crazy stuff. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
what if these devices start getting up to no good and deciding to take over
Well,
things?
yeah, well, if some of you may recall looking at the movie Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger, just look at Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 and just how the robots took over. That movie speaks to that theme that we're discussing right now. So I got about 5% left. So we're going to take it to zero, baby.
Okay. Well, there's a question from one Riley asking, should we visit our astrology in houses to see how it'll affect our lives?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
You're going to be
Definitely.
experiencing big transformation in that area of your life.
Yes. And everyone, now I used the Placidus house system, but use the house system that you like. I don't use all of them because I don't like all of them, but I do like the Placidus house system. So you want to take a look at which house is Pluto transiting through at that time. That is the house to give attention to, and then what aspects is transiting Pluto making to natal planets. And that would be major aspects: the conjunction, the opposition, the square, the trine, and the sextile. Now, as for the minor aspects, if Pluto forms a minor aspect to one of your personal planets, remember the minor aspects support the major aspects, but give attention to the major aspects first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And you're going to be like, notice if you see a shift next week, especially if you have planets close to 0 degrees of any of the signs. You may,
Especially, yes, 0 degrees of Aquarius, 0 degrees of Leo, 0 degrees of Taurus, 0 degrees of, what's that other square? Scorpio.
those are the
And
ones
those are the
who are
squares
going
and
to.
the oppositions. But look at the trines and the sextiles too. So air to air, 0 Libra, 0 Gemini. Look there as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah. Okay. And let's see, what else was I gonna say? Well, since you're running out of battery, let's see. Any thoughts on the war in Ukraine and how Pluto going into Aquarius will impact that, or the women in Afghanistan and Iran? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did Omari? Oh, I think Omari is stuck. So he may have run out of a battery. Let's see. So, Camroa, you asked about the IC. So Pluto crossing your IC. Sorry, Omari's phone overheated and it ran out of stuff. But we'll keep talking about this. So if Pluto crosses your IC, that is a major transit where you're going to have some kind of transformation or things around home, family, and foundations. That's the IC ruler, your most private self. It may be mostly internal, or it may have to do with family members, yeah, or your actual physical home. And so if there's anything that needs to be repaired around your home, make sure to repair it if before, as Pluto's going into Aquarius. Thank you, Magash, for the badge. And I saw there was another badge. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the badges. I so appreciate it. Yeah. Are there any other questions about Pluto going into Aquarius? I think like some of the other themes I wanted to bring up were people's relationships with like their friend group. I think more people will be potentially retiring with friends, or in like more of retirement villages that are catering to people who are in friendship circles rather than just couples, especially, and like as more and more people choose not to have children. Yeah, that's going to be something that we're seeing with this. And yeah, the air, like Pluto in air, just instances when you see stories about contaminated air and things like that. There may be some stories around this topic with Pluto in the going into air. Let's see. Yeah, Kay says every generation should be able to pass the baton in effort for progress. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Camilla. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What else do I want to say about that? Oh, vibes being cute. Oh, 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 you're leaving a friend group. Yes. So if Pluto's going into your 11th house, that will transform your friends groups, or it just even may transforms your friends group. Vibes being cute, and you have decided maybe your values have changed, and you're leaving this group because you say you feel like you're being bullied. Bullying, cruelty is very plutonic. Yeah, yeah. Oh, a man was killed in Mississippi and his body and head are separated. And the police say it's not mysterious. I don't know about that. I'll have to look it up. Thank you, Donna Morgan. Thank you so much for the badge. Thank you, thank you. Oh yes, I love Teresa, the tarot lady. Yes, yeah. Your friend just found water issues in his home. Tell him that Saturn went into Pisces on March 7th. Get it fixed as soon as possible before Pluto goes into Aquarius. Depending on his chart, it could be a real problem. Yeah. Yeah, so notice stories where you're hearing about massive numbers of peoples being impacted by things. Like ongoing in France right now is the protests about the retirement age being raised from 62 to 64. And like they're burning fires and all sorts of stuff. And that's like a big movement where people are pushing back. Pluto in Aquarius, the people taking the power against, the leadership. We've had an issue here in the United States where some also immigration, like massive waves of people moving because of climate change, or like where they're living becoming unbearable because of crime or the environment. And I think it was last week, a mass of people tried to storm the U.S. border, like 1,000 of them at once, and tried to overwhelm the border force. So seeing things like that. Oh, vibes being cute. You have water issues, Saturn and Pisces. So my water issue was my doctor, because I have dry eye, my doctor told me to start using a humidifier. So I pulled out this old humidifier and like I put it together and then it was leaking. So I just kept having water issues. This is Saturn and Pisces with it. So fix your water issues as soon as you can. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Camaro. I'll have to, Camilla. I'll have to look it up. Yeah. Lots of people experienced water issues over the last couple of weeks. I live in a condo building, and one of my neighbors, like their sink got clogged up, and then there were several people's sinks clogged up because of something in the line, and it was like the day after Saturn went into Pisces. So yes, it's okay, Megan. You can always listen back to this. We're talking about Pluto in Aquarius and some of the things we may be seeing. So transformations of groups, of clubs, of friendships, that sort of thing. Unearthings of secrets will be coming up. Yeah, tech stuff. Will TikTok be banned? Like this chat GPT changing things are things that may be coming up. Will we be going to Mars? Yeah, maybe somebody will be going to Mars, the planet of Mars. Potential for volcanoes or earthquakes next week with Pluto changing signs. Yeah, that's a big one as well. Oh, so Donna, you have Jupiter crossing your midheaven. What do you think? Yeah, so your midheaven's in Aries, and like look for blessings or positive things or around your work. Or are you out in the collective? Your status, your reputation could potentially get a little bit of a boost. Now, you can also, Jupiter that has a lot of positive connotations around bringing abundance and things. Now, Jupiter can also be like you get a new boss and they're totally overbearing and won't shut up and are bloviating. Like that can be Jupiter as well. But I'm looking forward to you getting like some nice things at work, maybe even like an unexpected just boost in some ways. It could be salary increase. It could be a promotion, not necessarily. Sometimes it's more subtle. But notice all the positive things that happen related to you in your work or your reputation with Jupiter crossing your midheaven. And notice who you meet. You may meet someone who may be of help to you at some point. Oh, thank you, Win Riley, for the badge. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so Kay Lara, will Pluto be positive or negative for your Aquarius North Node at 4 degrees of Aquarius? You know, it depends on your whole chart. Typically, the North Node is an area of gain. So, like, what house is it in, though, and all of that. One thing I do, it's called Ask Me Anything. You can go to the link in my bio and put in your information, and I'll record a video for you, or you can come get a reading. But yeah, really notice what happens with Pluto moving into Aquarius. Yeah, because you may be feeling it. Hello, hi. Okay, let's see. What else was I thinking about? Yeah, notice stories. I just keep getting skin. Notice stories because Aquarius it could be associated with skin. So see what we see around that as well. And let's see, anything else that I wanted to say. So Pluto enters March 23rd of this year till June 11th. And it's going to stay at 0 degrees that whole time. It's going to go back into Capricorn until October 10th and retrograde, and then it enters Aquarius again January 20th of 2024 and then stays there for 20 years. So that's the time. Oh, Megan, yeah, your Aries North Node is going to have at 29 degrees, there's going to be an eclipse to your North Node. So yeah, notice what happens around April 19th, April 20th. Yes. Okay. I'm going to pull a couple of cards for us to think about some key things about Pluto going into Aquarius. And I'm going to use the Prism Oracle deck. Yeah, I'm hoping this is going to mean like people who've been suppressed, especially like in the women in Iran and Afghanistan, that good things, they're able to do some transformation and maybe even take down the theocracy. With Saturn in Pisces, religion is having a crisis. Saturn, Pisces rules spirituality. So maybe they'll make some gains there. Just today, Putin is being brought up on war crimes by the ICC, the International Criminal Court, I think it stands for. So maybe there'll be some positive things about that war. Yeah. April 19th, April 20th is the eclipse, depending on where you live. The 11th house, yeah, that's the house of friends, groups, hopes, and dreams, that sort of thing. Yeah. You know what? Pluto and Saturn scare sun naturals. Yeah, they're kind of big baddies, but you know, there's also Pluto can empower people. So it's can heal people. It can be cleansing. Yeah, and Saturn is achievement after effort, and Saturn matures. So try not to feel too scared about them. But yeah, you know, oftentimes difficult things coincide with these transits. Yeah, I know. It still scares you. Yeah, I know. Yeah. But let's try to think about the optimistic things about there may be some amazing technological advancements that make life better. Like, how about water? Like being able to, I mean, to recycle water in a more efficient way is something the world really needs. Oh, your Pluto's on your midheaven. Yeah, like Google that and look and see what you think about what you read and how you've experienced it. Yeah. Okay. Let me pull a couple of these cards. So hopefully this has been helpful for you to think about, you know, Pluto going to Aquarius. Look at your own chart. What house has Aquarius? 0 Aquarius is that, and that may be a, you know, you may see some changes quickly with that. Now, they can also be internal, where something internal to you is transformed about how you're thinking about things or how you're thinking about your place in the collective, or, you know, somebody's going to next week start thinking about how they're going to run for office, or how they're going to start a charity, or how they're going to, you know, take up a cause about some things to make a difference and an impact, to use themselves as a tool for change. Yeah, yeah. They're shooting the women in the eyes. Oh my God. In Iran. Oh, I haven't heard that. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow. Okay, let me pull 3 cards here for us to think about. Yeah, it's horrible. So yeah, it can go either way with what's going on in Iran, like just more oppression, or there can be like, you know, some freedom. I think what's going on in Ukraine has inspired people. Okay, so passion was a jumper. So yeah, you may like notice when people are holding on to their views about things in a more extreme way about what they're thinking and how they're presenting themselves, because Pluto will move into Aquarius. Mercury, the sun, Jupiter, and the moon will all be in Aries when Pluto moves into Aquarius. So people will be speaking from this, you know, especially next week is going to be something. Ooh, okay. How interesting. I pulled peace. So hopefully, and this is also Saturn and Pisces, we'll be seeing more peace. I know there is some kind of peace treaty brokered by the Chinese between Saudi Arabia and Iran recently. So hopefully we'll be seeing more peace. Yeah. And I pulled sadness. Yeah, so there will be also, you know, people experiencing extreme hardships and things like that due to like a volcano erupting or whatever, you know, a war or things like that. So that will also be something that stories will be seeing. And then I pulled comfort. This is interesting. Pluto in Aquarius, like people seeking more comfort through groups in a different way, maybe could be coming up with this. Yeah. Tigya, oh yeah, you have Aquarius, like you're really going to probably feel it, Tigya, this Pluto switch into Aquarius. Maybe not right away, but like mark your calendar for, you know, October when Pluto goes, is that when Pluto goes retrograde? Oh no, June 10th it goes retrograde. June 10th, and like think about how have I transformed since March 23rd in related to Pluto in Aquarius and what house it's in. So yeah, think about that. Oh, sunspots. Ah! Taters waiting for an alien spaceship. Yeah, aliens are very Aquarius. So we'll see if anything comes up about about aliens coming to the world. Yeah, worldwide, like the revolution. Yeah, revolutions. Oh, 0 Aquarius is in your first house and intercepted. So your Aquarius is intercepted. I wonder, it'll be interesting to see what you notice about you and your identity first house with Pluto going into Aquarius. Let's see. Antigia's sun on the cusp of the seventh. So your finances and values are going to be what, and yeah, transformation of your income, maybe something that comes up. Like Pluto rules wealth, and it can build it up, or it can bring some of it down, or just change it. Yeah. Yeah. Those are some things that you can think about it. Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, I hope this was helpful for everyone. And yeah, stay tuned. I will be back on Sunday with the Astro and the Oracle. And I'm doing an Aries new moon workshop on Sunday. I highly recommend. Not the Aries starts the astrology year. So check it out at the link in my bio. I'd love to see you there. It's going to be one of the most important new moons of the year. So make sure you set intentions even if you don't come to the workshop. Okay, book a reading on my website only. I will never come into your DMs saying, I got inspired by your name. Yeah, or do the Ask Me Anything at the link in my bio. Okay, take care, and I'll be back on Sunday for the Celestial Insights program, and the podcast, of course, is also available, Celestial Insights, wherever you listen, except Pandora. Okay, bye.